Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, students. Today we are going to continue the play by William Shakespeare, Merchant of Venice. We are going to start from the paragraph. Open up your books and start reading from Bassanio being so kindly supplied with money by his friend Antonio at the hazard of his life. Bassanio confessed to Portia that he had no fortune, and he is very proud of, or he can boast of the ancestry that he had. Means whatever he had, he is very happy to have that. And he said, and Portia prettily replied, "She was an unlessoned girl, unschooled and unpracticed. Myself and what is mine is to you, and yours is now converted." Now let's see. You would observe the theme of love, or specifically the character of Portia as well. This is Portia's character is very much significant, or a significant role to play. Portia now, she is basically expressing her love for Bassanio, and she says, first of all, Bassanio, he actually in the beginning did not expose his reality, that he is not a rich man. He is not as much rich as Portia is. That was the reason to reach to Portia's status. He demands for the money from his friend Antonio, but now he is going to confess, accept the reality that he is not having that much great status as Portia is, and he says, but he is satisfied, or he can boast of his noble family. He is satisfied whatever he is inherited from his family, because his family, he says that he is very much noble, and that is everything. Then Portia, she gives him a ring as a symbol of love. And when look at the humbleness character of Portia, that look at the humbleness of Portia, that she is so much kind, or a good natured girl, that she when she comes to know that Bassanio has realized that he is not or his status is not comparable to that of Portia, she says that I am inexperienced, unschooled and unpracticed girl. It means that she does not want Bassanio to develop any kind of inferiority complex, or any kind of feeling that he shouldn't feel that Portia is of good status than Bassanio, though she is a very much pretty, beautiful, wise and rich lady, but we rarely find such kind of humbleness in any of the character. This is also this all shows that this was the purity of love of Portia. And then she declares that my love, myself, and what is mine is converted to you. And Bassanio, after listening to these dialogues, he feels very much happy. Then when these dialogues were delivered by Portia, she presents a ring to Bassanio and says, my lord, I give this, or I give all of my money along with the ring. And then she presents this ring to Bassanio as a symbol of love. And they vote to each other, they promise to each other that they will never they will never get apart from each other. And then what happens? Bassanio feels really very much proud of that. After that, let's begin the next paragraph. Gratanio and Nerissa. Portia's waiting maids. They were in attendance upon their lord and lady when Portia so gracefully promised to become the obedient wife of Bassanio. Britannia then said that he loved the lady Portia's fair waiting maid, Nerissa. Now, Britannia is also class going to express his love for Nerissa. First of all, these both were the waiting maids of Portia, and now after their lords have expressed their love, they are going to express their own love as well. And when Portia comes to know that both of them, they are going to they also love one another, they also love each other, and they also want to marry, then Portia's humbleness, she says, then our wedding feast shall be much honored by your marriage, Britannia. The happiness of these lovers was sadly crossed at the moment by the entrance of a messenger who brought a letter from Antonio. What happens then? Again, you are going to have a theme of love and selfishness. Means you are going to observe that there are some characters who are really very much selfish, like Shylock, but on the other hand, there are some characters that who are going to sacrifice everything they possess in their life, or the most precious things of life, for the sake of love. Then you will be observing what happens then. The Portia then said that she would be married to Bassanio before he set out to give him a legal right to her money. When they come to know about the letter, that what was in that letters, then listen to this dialogue carefully. Then Bassanio read Antonio's letter. Sweet Bassanio, these were the words of Antonio. My ships are all lost. My bond to the Jew is forfeited. I could wish to see you at my death. If your love for me too not persuade you to come, let not my letter. Oh, my dear love. Now what happens? Look here. Bassanio and Portia, they are very much happy that they are going to marry with each other. Then Portia, when she comes to know that Nerissa and Britannia, they also have great love for each other, then she announces it, or she allows them as well to get married. And then again humbleness of Portia's character, then she says, our marriage ceremony will be much honored by your marriage. Look here, we rarely find such kind of attitude by the lady, specifically the lady who is not only beautiful but very much wise and wealthy as well, and just to make their mates happy, Britannia and Nerissa, she delivers this dialogue. Then Portia says that when they come to know that that Antonio's bond is forfeited. Forfeited means that the contract is over. Now Bassanio has to face the circumstances of the bond that he had signed, and the Bassanio will be presented in front of the court. Then Portia, she says, or she declares to Bassanio, don't get worried. She says, you shall have gold to pay the money 20 times over. So she announces it. She declares that now everything of mine and myself is converted to you. And why did she marry Bassanio? So that whatever she possesses should be converted legally to Bassanio. And now she says that take money and return the loan that has been taken from Shylock. And then said, look here, she says Before this kind of friend shall lose a hair, be gone. This was the dialogue of Portia. She is so much respectful towards her husband that she says that she does not want to lose a. She does not want Bassanio's. You can say that in any case, she does not want Bassanio to lose even a single hair, and she says that before he loses a single hair. Be quick and go to save Bassanio's life. Then the next paragraph explains about the theme of friendship, that we observe that the letter which was received by Antonio, first of all, actually they thought that this might be the news of the death of a friend, but look here, the dialogue of Antonio as well, that does really explains that Antonio's loyalty, Antonio's love, Antonio's sincerity for his friend. Now he says that I could wish you to see at my death, that he knows that he has been he's or he's going to, or he has been facing the circumstances, and the more specifically that he is going to face the hard time, critical time, only due to his friend Bassanio, but he never took it to heart, or he never blamed anything to his friend. Rather he says that I wish to see Bassanio at my death. We rarely find again such kind of example. Then what happens, that the day of payment being past, the cruel Jew would not accept the money which Bassanio offered him, because he really wants to kill Antonio. Then what happens, that he says, whose name was what look at the intelligent mind of, or intelligence of Portia. What did she do? That Portia had a relation with a person who was a counselor in the law, whose name was Bellario. She wrote and she stated all the case in front of him and desired his opinion as well, that with his advice he would also send her the dress worn by the counselor. Then you will be observing again the great character of Portia. Look here, what happens, that Portia, being a very intelligent and wise girl, she demands from Bellario. Bellario basically was a counselor and had some good relations with Portia. She presents all of the case of Antonio in front of Bellario, and she also wrote a letter to Bellario that gives some pieces of advice that how the case of Antonio should be fought in the court, and she also requests from Bellario to send the dress of a lawyer to Portia as well. Now you are going to observe Portia in the disguise of a lawyer. Now what happens, that she wears the dress of a lawyer. She presented herself as a lawyer, and then Nerissa in clerk's dress. Both Nerissa and Portia, they were disguised in the appearance of male characters. Now what happens, that she when she reaches to court, she delivers lecture on mercy. She demands, being a Christian character, she demands to shower mercy from Shylock. Then she boldly, when she reaches to the court, she boldly proceeded the duty, and then she says she spoke so sweetly of the noble quality of mercy, and she also delivered some dialogues to Shylock. She says that Shylock but when Portia delivers the lecture on mercy, that she says that mercy is dropped as the rain in the heaven. is dropped as the rain in the heaven. Look here, it is simile is used. Mercy is compared with the blessings like rain. She says that being a Christian character, Shakespeare, through the character of Portia, he stresses or puts emphasis that it is one of the greatest teachings of Christianity, that Christianity puts stress on developing or having and showering mercy upon one another. And then she also demands the same from Shylock, but Shylock, in response, he answered that he is not going to accept. Shylock only answered by her desiring to have the penalty forfeited in the bond. He only wants to give punishment to, or take revenge from this Antonio. Look here, the name that Portia gave herself in disguise was Balthazar. Balthazar. So you need to be very much careful regarding that. Now you will be observing that what happens, that the theme of prejudice, hatred, or racism again is there in the same paragraph. Shylock wants Antonio's flesh and blood, and he presents himself as a cruel and merciless person, as a villain here. These dialogues show that he is some villainous kind of nature. That is why we sometimes on the one hand we feel sympathetic towards Shylock when we observe the attitude in the beginning, or attitude of Antonio in the beginning, that how he was going to deal with Shylock. But when we observe such kind of hatred and prejudice and revengeful approach of Shylock, we feel or we consider that Shylock really is a villain. He says, "There is no power on earth to alter me or my decision." He says, he declares that he is not going to take money because the time is over now. He is going to give only the punishment. And Shylock is very much happy with the lawyer. Who was the lawyer? Again, let me recall. Portia is the lawyer here. Portia is fighting the case of Antonio, but very wisely and with sagacity. She takes sometimes the side of Antonio. She takes side of Shylock as well, and Shylock becomes very happy with this young girl, and she says, "A Daniel has come to judgment." Oh, Daniel means an honest man. He is very much happy that this lawyer really accepts the reality that Antonio's bond, Antonio's contract is over, so he should be given punishment. Then what happens? Then she said to Shylock, "Be merciful, take the money, and bid me tear the bond." Now these were the dialogue. "Be merciful, let me tear the bond." She demands on the one hand, by after taking side of Shylock, so that he may not guess, or he may not have any kind of doubts that Portia is taking side of Antonio. Then she demands that be shower mercy, being a Christian character. She says, "By my soul I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me." This was the dialogue of Shylock after listening to the demand, or that Portia is demanding from Shylock to have mercy. It means he is presented as a very cruel kind of character. Then we will be starting the next paragraph from let's begin the next paragraph. It starts. Then the next paragraph starts from, "Why then, Antonio," said Portia, "you must prepare your bosom for the knife." These were the dialogues of Portia. "Give me your hand, Bassanio, fare you well. Grieve not that I am fallen into this misfortune for you. commend me to your honorable wife and tell her how I have loved you. Then there are so many characters of Portia as well. Portia asked if the scales were ready to weigh the flesh. Then Shylock, you must have some surgeon by. Now, in this paragraph, we are going to observe the theme of friendship. Antonio's love for Bassanio. When Antonio feels that Bassanio is very much worried, and he starts this realization, self-realization on the part of Bassanio, he says that to Bassanio, Bassanio, don't worry, don't be the gloomy, grieve not, I have loved you. Means he is expressing his love so that he does not want his friend to be sad. He says Bassanio's love. Look here. He says, my life, my wife are not above your life. This is Bassanio's love for Antonio. He says that I would lose all, I would sacrifice all. So look at the beautiful dialogues of both the friends for each other, that each character expressing his deep love and association for each other, that he is going to he says that he is going to sacrifice all of his life for his friend. And then the next paragraph starts from Portia asked for the scales. Then what happens here? This is the climax basically, that we feel that how is Portia going to deal with the case, or how is she going to fight the case for Bassanio. Again, the character of Portia as well is hidden here, because the sagacity of Portia is we are going to observe. First of all, she demands from Shylock to have a surgeon. She says, Shylock, you must have some surgeons, lest he bleeds to death. Why she is demanding a surgeon? Because she first of all, she takes side of Shylock again, to make him feel, to make him give guarantee, to make him feel sure that she is not on the side of Antonio. She says, you may cut flesh off his breast. And then she makes Shylock very much happy with her sagacity and wisdom. And he says, oh wise judge, oh, apostrophe is there, a Daniel has come to judgment, or a Daniel has come to judge. He feels really very much honored that the judge, that this lawyer is on the side of Shylock, but it was not actually that. Then after this, what happens? She says, when Shylock is going, or is ready to cut the flesh from Antonio's body, and he eagerly says to Antonio, come prepare. Then what happens? She says, tarry a little, means stop a little wide. This was the dialogue of Portia. And she says that if in the cutting of the pound of flesh you shed one drop of Christian blood, your land and goods are by the law to be confiscated to the state of Venice. Confiscated means that they will be captured. So again, Antonio's life's savings movement, Antonio's life, but the most important is seen in the play, in the climax, that we are going to observe how she is going to save Antonio's life. Shylock says, come prepare. Means he's going to ready, he's going to cut the flesh from Antonio's body. And then suspense in the play arises, and Portia very wisely he demands from Shylock. He says, this stop, you can't cut the flesh from his breast or his body, because this bond gives you no drop of blood. Means while cutting, if Antonio's body is going to bleed, then his money will be captured by the state, by the court, by the government. When this dialogue was listened by Shylock, he gets very much upset, and then Britannia feels happy, and he explained in the same way, in the words which Shylock had used. "O wise and upright judge, mark, Jew, Daniel is come to judgment." Now here this dialogue basically it leaves a humorous or comic effect in the play, in the scene. That Britannia, basically it was the Britannia, you are, if you remember, was a funny kind of person as well. Sometimes he used to pass critical dialogues in a very humorous way. That makes the whole tragic scene, or you can say that just to give a comic relief in the tragic scenes, his dialogues are delivered. He here in the through his dialogues, he is going to make some mimicry, fun of Shylock, again by repeating Shylock's dialogue, as he again and again been in the previous dialogues he been using that, "Oh wise, Daniel has come to judgment, oh wise and upright judge." So here he is going to make mimicry. Then the next paragraph starts from Shylock finding himself defeated. In this case, he said with a disappointed look, he would take the money. Now Shylock is going to take the money, and look at the greediness of this character. But Portia stopped him, saying, "There is no haste. The Jew shall have nothing but the penalty. Therefore prepare, Shylock, to cut off the flesh. But mind you should not shed blood." It was Shylock's greediness, Shylock's selfishness, that you know that money is everything for Shylock, and he says, "Give me my money and let me go." Now he has understood that he is going to be defeated. The case is going to be be turned against him. Now, if after his defeat, what happens that another charge, before he runs or makes some excuses and runs out from court, another charge was put on Shylock by again the wise lady. And what was that you can say that that charge? She says, "You conspired against one of the citizens, so your wealth is occupied by the states." Now this was the charge, this was the accusation put by the wise girl Portia, disguised in the appearance of a lawyer. She says that you had been conspiring, or conspiring means making evil plans against one of the citizens. Who was one of the citizens she's talking about? Antonio. That as you have conspired, you make some evil plans against him, so your wealth would be occupied by the state. Then the next paragraph starts from, "The Duke then said to Shylock, that you may see the difference of our Christian spirit, I pardon you your life before you ask it. Half of your wealth belongs to Antonio, the other half comes to the state." This is very much important, that you would observe that the difference of approach or differences in the nature of Christians versus Jews, or again the theme of mercy and religion is also here. That through the dialogue of Duke, we observe that Duke has forgiven or has announced to forgive Shylock, and just this Duke's order. He says, "I pardon you your life." Pardon means I forgive you your life. This shows that all the Christian characters, including Portia, Antonio, and Duke, they were very much merciful characters. They showed mercy. What happens then that after when the Duke showed mercy towards Shylock, then Portia's insistence on mercy. Portia, being a lawyer, being a Christian character, also shows or demands from Shylock to show mercy. She says mercy has its own reward, so she demands that Shylock should show mercy towards Antonio. Then what happens that they request, then he says that if you repent, the court says, Duke says, if you repent your cruelty and turn Christian, the state will forgive you the fine of the other half of your riches. And the generous Antonio then said that he would give up his share of Shylock's wealth if Shylock would sign a deed to make it over at his death to his daughter and her husband. Now, look here. They believe in justice, means the Christian's character, they not only want everyone to have mercy for one another, for everyone, but they also believe in justice. And here Antonio says half of your wealth is the Duke says half of your wealth is given to Antonio and half to the state. Why? Because the court says that Duke Shylock has been planning, has been some evil designed or evil planning was being done by Shylock. So that was the reason that half of this was his punishment, basically, girls, that half of the wealth would be given to Antonio and half of the wealth would be captured by the state. But Antonio, look at that, Antonio's generosity, being Christian character, his generosity, his mercy, that they not only demand from Shylock to have a mercy upon Antonio, but Antonio himself has shown mercy for Shylock when the case was turned in favor of Antonio at the end. He says, I would give up this share, means Antonio is ready to give up, means to leave this share that was given, that was announced by the court for Antonio. He says that, but what was the condition that Antonio is going to leave this share? That he says, if Shylock is going to give half of his wealth to his daughter, because due to overprotection, Shylock's daughter left him and she married Lorenzo. So he demands, Antonio demands that if he is going to convert his half of the money to the daughter, then he will leave his share. This is the great, you can say that a good characteristics, good trait on the part of Antonio. Then court demands, if Shylock is going to convert into Christianity, is going to accept the teachings of Christianity, if you turn Christian, the state shall forgive your half fine. Then the other fine of the charge that was put on Shylock, the state says that if he is going to be Christian, then his the other fine would also be forgiven. Again, a theme of mercy is there. What happens? The Duke now released Antonio and dismissed the court. Now the case is over, and the Duke, after leaving, he said that he was sorry that he had not leisure means free time, to stay and have a dinner with Portia, because and he demands Antonio, and he says to Antonio, he says, reward this gentleman, means now he's giving reference towards the Portia. He says, reward this gentleman, for means this is used as a conjunction, because in my mind you are much indebted to him. Indebted means thankful to him. Then what happens? Duke got impressed from the sagacity, wisdom of Portia, and he offered to Portia he demands from Antonio to offer him some money, you can say, just to give him some payments, or be thankful to that person. And now Antonio offers Portia 3,000 decades. He now elements of comedy are added in the play, because now you're going to observe that anticlimax starts here. Now the case is going to be resolved. Now and the play is going to towards the or going to move towards the ending. After climax, now falling action is going to be started here. Elements of comedy. What happens now when Antonio he offers 3,000 ducats to Portia and Nerissa to receive, because they have fought their case, his case, very wisely. She says, "For your love, I will take your ring." Now she demands from Antonio, "Take off your gloves." And when he takes off his gloves, then she looks at the ring that she has given to Bassanio, and now she says that she does not want money as a reward, that being a lawyer, she has fought the case very wisely. She says, "Okay, I like the ring that you are wearing, I want that ring." This was just to add the humorous factor, comic relief. She just wants to, you can say, make fun of the whole, or she wants to give the comic relief to that tragic scene. Now again, Nerissa also demands the same from her lover, and because both of the characters, they have given the rings to their lovers as well, or you can say their husbands. Now there is a taunting smile on the faces of both the ladies, and Portia is very much overjoyed, very much happy, because on the one hand she not only fought or won the case with sagacity and wisdom, but she is very much happy because she feels that Nerissa and Portia both of them, they made their husbands fool. And when she reaches home, she says, "Methinks music sounds sweeter than by day." Look at the happiness of Portia, excitement of Portia, that not only because she won the case, but she made fun of both the characters of Bassanio and Nerissa's husband, and she says that she feels very much happy. And look here, what happens in the scene, that it was just, you can say, a planned kind of quarrel of Nerissa with Britannia. Nerissa, now she is going to quarrel, she is going to fight with Britannia because they have not exposed their reality, that Nerissa was in the dress of clerk and Portia was in the appearance of lawyer. They have not exposed girls their reality from their husband. So when they come to home, both Nerissa and Portia, Britannia and Bassanio, when they reach home, then Nerissa asks about the ring. Similarly, Portia asks also about the ring, and when because they knew that what have they done, they have taken the rings from their husbands as a reward of reward against the case that they have won. So when Nerissa was quarreling with Britannia, then Portia asks from Nerissa that why are you quarreling? She says that Britannia has given the ring to some other person, might be to some girl, and there were some words were written on ring. This is very much important, girls. You can have this question in objective paper as well. So on the ring, the words were, "Love me and leave me not." So these were the significant, this was a dialogue inscribed, written on the ring. It was basically the you can say that Portia's trick to make fun and enjoyment, to have some enjoyments, some moments of enjoyment in that tragic you can say scene. So both the girls, Nerissa and Portia, they were very much happy that they had made fun of their husbands. The paragraph next starts, said Antonio, I am the unhappy cause of these quarrels. When Antonio observes that both the ladies, though they are going to have fights and quarrels with their husbands, then he feels that he is responsible for that. Portia bid Antonio not to grieve at that. I should have now been dead. This was the dialogue of Antonio. I dare be bound again, my soul upon the forfeit. Then Portia says, give him this ring and bid him keep it better than the other. Now, what happens that we observe some happy ending here, because as I told you that this is a tragic comedy, and there are some tragic elements, but some comic elements as well, because just due to some humorous or comic scenes, comic dialogues, the play is declared as a comedy as well. Now, what happens that all the secrets are revealed now. When Bassanio looked at this ring, he was strangely surprised to find it was the same he gave away. Then Portia told him how she was the young counselor and Nerissa was her clerk. All the secrets are revealed now. Both the ladies, both Portia and Nerissa, they told that they were in disguised as a lawyer and a clerk, and when they exposed their realities, this is basically the resolution after falling action. This scene comes in resolution. The play is going to be resolved. Then Antonio and Bassanio, both the characters, they feel very much strange, and they feel very much you can say shocked that how did with sagacity Portia and Nerissa, they fought the case. Then Bassanio felt very much honored that his wife very wisely she fought the case for his friend, and he feels very much happy with his wife as well. And then Gratanio also delivers you observe that all the tragedy is turned into comedy now. All the worriness is gone now. All the tragic events are gone now, or turned into comic relief. And then Gratanio, he delivers his funny speech. He says that while he lived, he would fear. This is the very last line of the play, girls, and very important as well. Dialogue of Gratanio. He merrily, happily, he swears. He promised in a rhyming speech. This dialogue was delivered in a rhyming way, in the form of a you can say song. He says, while he lived, he would fear no other, and keeping safe Nerissa's ring. This is in the form of you can say rhyme. And what is there in the dialogue? He happily he promised that he will have no fear in his life in future, except not to lose Nerissa's ring, because he can never forget the fight and quarrel of Nerissa with Gratanio. And everybody starts laughing and feeling happy, specifically both Portia and Nerissa, that both they started laughing on this scene, on this dialogue, that at this scene on the dialogue, that how did they make fun of of their husbands, and how they made their husbands very much upset. That was the reason that when Antonio felt very much sad and felt sorry that due to only Antonio, Nerissa and Portia, they are quarreling and fighting with the husbands. Then Portia exposes the reality and makes him cool, that don't worry at all, they were just enjoying the situation. So this is all about girls, about the play, and this is the gist of the play, that as I told you, that it is the beauty of the play, that the play Merchant of Venice is called the tragedy, tragic comedy. Means there are some tragic elements so far Antonio is concerned, because Antonio was, how did Antonio suffer due to his destiny, that he lost his ships. Though this was a fake news, but at that time they came to know that the ships were lost. Then he was put into prison, and how did Shylock suffer? Then this was all tragedy, sufferings of Shylock, and being a victimized character of Shylock. These are all tragic events. Then this is all turned into comedy. How can we say that this is tragic comedy? I told you the tragic events. Now the comedy is that there are some Britannia is there. There are some comic characters also there, that they pass on some humorous dialogues to make the situation light as well. And when in comedy, what happens? I told you in the beginning that in tragedy hero dies, but we do not find that Antonio dies here. He is saved, and the play ends with the happy marriages. The play ends with the laughter. The play ends with the scene of love, that that the husbands and wives and the lovers, they promise each other to be with each other in every kind of circumstances, and they promise to never to part with each other. So in this way the play is declared as a comedy as well. So this is the best example of the play having a great, beautiful, perfect plot that ends with a happy ending as well. The best example of a play that is declared as tragic comedy. And this is the gist of the play, that rise and fall is there in everyone's life. Happiness and sadness is there in everyone's life, but after happiness and after the sadness, happiness does come, and some comic relief, comic elements are also there in the play, that show that these elements represent that life is the combination of griefs and sorrows and happinesses as well. And but what is most important, that humanity is the most important element. Humanity is the greatest trait that should be associated, that should be given, or that should be developed in every human being. So here the play ends. Now we are going to discuss some of the important questions regarding this play. So moving ahead towards the question answers. Girls, so far the question answers are concerned, first of all, I am giving you this assignment to you, that the play is very much important. You are going to have two plays, and both the plays are written by Shakespeare. First of all, prepare all the questions which are given at the end of the exercise. Secondly, prepare all the themes that I have mentioned in your lectures. Thirdly, prepare all the important characters, not all 19 characters, but some important characters. Look here, in characterization, you will be observing this lecture, that some important characters and the description is given to you. This is your assignment number 3. And then the most important character most important question, that is of plot. Prepare the question of plot as well. Fifthly, this question is very, very much important, that I am going to discuss, and I already have discussed with you that is Shylock a villain or a victim? I told you Antonio was a protagonist, was a hero, and now it's up to you whether you take side of Shylock as a victim or whether you present Shylock as a villain. It's up to you, but you have to make notes of this question and send it to your respective teachers in your respective groups, because this is a very important question. Now, let me again help you that so far Antonio's attitude and approach being a Christian character is concerned in the beginning of the play for Shylock. He used to spit on Shylock, he used to insult Shylock, he used to taunt and criticize Shylock for his hard dealings. He used to call Shylock a cur, C-U-R, cur, means a dog. So this when we observe this attitude, and he forces him to turn into Christianity, such kind of attitude by Antonio for Shylock shows that Shylock was a sufferer, was a victim, was victimized by Antonio and some other characters, Christian characters as well. So we feel sympathetic towards Shylock, that Shylock is really a victim, more a victim than a villain. So this is the point. So far Shylock's nature is concerned, he used to had hard dealings in business with the people. His attitude was not good with the people in his business. He used to take revenge. He never showed mercy for Antonio or for anyone, in spite of insistence of the court and of Portia and Bassanio. He never showed mercy, though the reason was that he wanted to take revenge whatever has been done by Antonio with Shylock. But even then, it is the quality of human being, it should be the quality of human being that we should sometimes forgive others, and we should give some relief to others as well. But this is the quality that till end Shylock never shown mercy or never forgave Antonio. This makes Shylock as a villain. So you are going to prepare this question as well, girls. This is a very important question. So make the assignment on all these questions and get ready for the exams. So this was all about Shakespeare's play. We will be inshallah starting the next lecture on the next lesson. Till then, Allah Hafiz, and thank you so much.